All right, give me 19 through 15 then, and let me get ready to yell at you.
All right. 19, I went with Diego Gomez. 18, I went Dylan Barrero. 17, I went Chris Brady. 16, I went Jalen Neal. And then 15, I went Cade Cowell. So I want to start with the Cade Cowell part
Sure.
because I absolutely respect you putting him at 22 because I feel the exact same way, but I just didn't have the balls to put him that low. I am in the same boat as you because it's weird looking at his statistics on this list because he's 19 years old, but he has like 5,200 minutes played, which is great. Like that's a really great amount of minutes played at 19. But to the exact point you made, I feel like we still have yet to see him do anything to validate the potential. I think it looks like he had a pretty decent season when he was 17, which I think was 2021.
Mhm.
But I feel like it's regressed since then. And I think this last season was pretty rough for him.
Yeah, he's going backwards.
Yeah. I don't I'm kind of in the same mindset as you. I mean, obviously I want him to do well. The exact reasons you said it helps us in the national team. But I just think I don't see where the hype is coming from. I don't see how he is 8 in the 22 I don't see the Barcelona links. I don't get it. Maybe he turns it around next year though, but I feel like he's getting enough game time that it's not a question of like, does he need the game time to prove it? But I would definitely be willing to put him lower on the list. I just did not have the balls to do so. All right, so
Love
then
it.
now, huh?
Love it. Love it. I'm
Now
glad.
that we got Cade out of the way, I'll just kind of go down the list. So, Diego
Oh,
Gomez,
before you go, sorry, I just want to.
yeah,
So he finished eighth, right?
yeah,
Last year, he finished 11th.
yeah. He went
So
up.
he went up, and I think he had like 8 goals, 12 assists over his career going up to that point. So he's gone up 3 spots and has regressed in the production. Like I don't get it.
No, I hear you. Um, yeah. So I had Diego Gomez at 19. I think he's shown. I mean, it's a very small sample size. I think he had like 237 minutes in MLS this season, but I think he showed a little bit of promise there. I think I like that he's coming into the league with like three, almost 3,000 minutes played in a top flight team at only 20 years old. I think that um, shows that he has the ability to be in and around the first team. I definitely think he's got some good potential with a full season under his belt next year to be able to move up the list. Uh, but I think there were guys ahead of him that have been able to prove more in the league already and have a little bit more experience than him around at like a similar age or even younger. So he was a bit lower on my list, but I kept him pretty similar to where they ranked him. Um, Dylan Barrero, that one's a tough one because I think he has the potential to be high on this list, but he got hurt early in this year while he was playing really well, in my opinion. So we just didn't get to see a lot of him. And he's only got 2,000 minutes top flight in his career so far at 21, which was pretty low, especially at how old he was. So I think he has the ability to be one of the top guys on this list. I mean, I ranked him like 12th in current ability. Like I think he has that ability in him. I just think we haven't seen enough of him yet for me to feel like I should put him higher. Like I give him like one more year next year. He's fully healthy. He's doing what he's doing again, and I think he's justifying the hype that I think that that's there for him. Chris Brady. I know we were super hyped about him going into the season. I think you even more so than me. I definitely think he had moments this year where he showed his age. He showed his youth, a couple of like silly mistakes, but I think overall he's had a pretty decent season. I think he's got high potential on this list compared to a lot of other guys. I think I ranked him 12th in potential. I think we're just waiting for him to get a little bit more comfortable in the starting role, get some more minutes. I mean, 2,500 minutes this season was great. I think he had the most minutes this season out of anybody on my list. Uh, so I think he's moving in the right direction on this list. He's only going to go higher, but I like to see probably at least another season from him to move him up. And then Jalen Neal's the last one. I think Jalen Neal was showing amazing potential this season, and then he got hurt. Kind of a similar story to Barrero. But at least I think in Jalen Neal's case, he's a year younger, so that's kind of give him the boost over Barrero, and he had a lot more minutes played in the season. But all of his minutes top flight have come from this season, so still probably a bit more to prove in terms of like current ability for him. So I'd like to just see him get more minutes next year when he's healthy, and then I'd feel better about moving him up higher.
I've got a lot of people that I'll talk about. I think we're relatively close there. I don't have a lot of them pushed away, so I think we're close enough there. So I am just gonna move on and hit those talking points when I get to them. So my 19 to 15. At 19, I've got Cam Harper from RBN Live. At 18, I've got Bernard Kamungo from FC Dallas. At 17, I got Jason Russell Rowe from Columbus. At 16, I have Chris Brady from Chicago. And at 15, I got Jack McGlynn from Philly. So here is where that all comes from. Grace loves it. 19, Cam Harper. Converted to a wingback in this high pressing Red Bull system this year. The first time he's really played there for a full season. And you just see this massive jump in his game. And I think this is probably his long-term home if he's ever going to go to the next level. I think he's going to be a right back, an attacking right back. He had 2 goals and 2 assists, 45 successful dribbles over 2,100 minutes this season. And he averaged almost 1 key pass a game from that right back spot. So he made a good jump this year, and he's on this list because I think over the next 3 years, he establishes himself really, really well. And that's not a biased take at all.
Yeah. Okay.
18, Bernard Kamungo. His story is just brilliant. The Tanzanian refugee who won a roster spot for an open tryout for Dallas's MLS Next team. Called up to the first team to score 4 goals in 453 minutes. Whenever Jesus moves on, this team's going to be in good hands. I really like the story is great, but the kid has the game to back it up. So very excited to see him play. Russell Rowe from Columbus didn't get a ton of time because obviously Cucho Hernandez, who we both put in our first team all MLS, not going to break into that team very often. But when he did get in, he had just over 500 minutes. He had 4 goals and 2 assists. Really good return for the Canadian striker. I don't know how they get him more involved next year, but Nancy's going to have to find a way because this dude is going to be, he has the ability to just find the goal. He was very good for the second team last year. Got called up and impressed in his short time at the first team. So at 16, our boy Chris Brady stepped in to fill Gaga's shoes, and I think he did fine, right? Our favorite stat, he was bang averaging 1.8, positive 1.8 PSXG plus minus. Done just enough to keep Chicago's playoff hopes alive to the last day. But as you mentioned, there's a lot that can improve. His shot stopping ability is very impressive, but he does have things that he just needs to grow into, right? You could see his age when he plays. He will, of course, grow into this over the next year or so, but I don't think his ceiling is as high as other goalkeepers or other players on this list. Like if you look at the national team goalkeeper pool, I don't think he's in the mix right now. With the Matt Turners, the Gagas, the Zach Steffens, the Horvaths, I don't think he's quite in that mix just yet. And even when other club teams start calling, I don't think a Chelsea's going to come get him. I don't think a Bayern Munich or a Dortmund are going to come get him. I think he's probably a Netherlands, Belgium kind of constant guy. And then Jack McGlynn at 15. This guy was described as having a cultured left foot, according to MLS and Jim Curtin, which I agree. I've seen him play. I think he definitely has it. But his stats don't really back up a lot for him. 2 goals, 1 assist, and 21 key passes in over 1,500 minutes in what I think is a more advanced role. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought he was more advanced. He has tons of room to grow, but I think we need to tap the brakes a little bit on this guy. I think he's 10 last season, and this season he was
7.
7. Yeah, so again, I think he's got a high ceiling, but is it as high as other people? I don't know.
I did not think of Russell Rowe at all, but now that I'm looking at him a bit, his scouting report on FBref per 90 is outrageous.
Right.
I think he just has to get more minutes, but I mean, as long as Cucho's there, it's gonna be hard for him to do.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, right? If when you look at over a full season, I think that it's tough to do a per 90. But when you're looking at like these young guys who may not be getting a ton of time, like Grace, for example, Grace is like, let me know. I think when you look at these young guys, I think those are the ones that the per game stats are going to matter. So, yeah, that's why I threw him in there, and I was really impressed with what he was doing. So
That's some good work to find that one.
I am good at what I do.